So as we approach ALM 2026, I couldn't be more excited about the agenda that we've put together. First of all, the whole idea of ALM is incredibly exciting for me because it really takes the whole industry, brands, agencies, publishers, ad tech, brings them together and says, what are the biggest things that we need to really think about and focus on to help the industry to continue to thrive? So whether it's focusing on creator, measurement, AI, how that's shaping and influencing our industry in dramatic ways, all of these things are pillars that we focus on and come together and say, what are the most important things that we need to address and work together? And what's IAB's role in helping to move the industry forward and come up with solutions to solve for the issues that we're facing? That could be privacy, policy, et cetera. Now, with that said, there's specific things I'm really excited that we're talking about, and that's the role of AI and what I'm calling now is B2A marketing. So it's B2B, B2C, but now how do you market to agents? So that's an area that we're very focused on and we know is changing the way marketers have to think about putting their products and services out in the market. So that's some of the things we'll be talking about. We've got a slew of creators that are going to be talking about how they're changing commerce and how they're driving sales for brands that they're partnering with. We're going to be talking to some celebrities. Kevin Bacon will be there to talk about how he's rebranding himself and becoming a media company. So lots of great surprises, lots of stuff that we're going to talk about. So it's really an exciting moment in the biggest thing in our industry to bring the industry together to move forward.
Cheryl, among the three other pillars that you'll be speaking about, I'm sure, is CTV, retail media, and search, which have been converging for the past year. Where are we with interoperability there?
So one of the things that's really interesting that we're going to be focusing on a lot is the role of CTV, retail or commerce media, and how search is fundamentally changing as well because of AI. And what we're seeing is the three of those things really coming together. So now it's no longer CTV is just an upper funnel solution, retail media is a great lower funnel, and then you have your search. Now it's all coming together in one experience, and one is fueling the other. So you really can have a full funnel solution. So by nature, there's an interoperability that happens within that structure. So you have your CTV, then you have the retail media data fueling that, and then you have the opportunity to buy all in one experience. So it's very interesting and exciting. It's totally changing the way people are shopping.
Cheryl, AI has also been evolving fastly and vastly, as you noted. It's starting to execute media, not just optimize it. So with that in mind, what's one area where it's already delivering meaningful value for marketers?
AI is playing a significant role for marketers in the whole media buying and selling process. Well, first of all, creative, allowing brands to really get efficient creative, taking data and being able to adapt their creative easily and efficiently in a way they never could before. And that could be just creating the creative. Production costs, things like that are going way down because you don't have to hire a whole crew and do things like that to have different creative. The other thing that we're seeing is platforms like Google, where you just put in one type of asset and it will naturally create all the other assets you need to run across all their platforms. They'll turn that asset into the right size, the right shape, et cetera, to run, whether it's on video or non-video. You don't have to create lots of versions of the same thing. So again, very efficient and be able to just do one thing that becomes many through the use of AI and AI tools. Media planning and buying, you now have all kinds of capabilities to reach new audiences and get data that didn't exist before and create audiences using that data that allow you to do more efficient targeting, find incremental reach. So lots of things happening there. And then just the whole buying and selling process. A lot of the redundant, tedious work that happens often in this business is now being replaced by technology that makes it easier to buy and sell. And it allows folks who are in those roles to do more strategic thinking and focus on higher level solutions.
Measurement has always been under pressure, whether you're a CMO or a CFO. Looking at it, in 2026, what does better measurement realistically look like?
Measurement is a topic that's always, as long as I've been in the business, which is a long time, measurement has always been a topic that's been a challenge for marketers. One of the biggest things that I think marketers have to think about is now as we move into an outcome-based measurement, which is what marketers are looking for now. Like, okay, reach, All of that is important, but what am I getting for my investment? And they're very focused on that, which is fine. However, you might be missing out on attribution and incrementality. So thinking more broadly about your media campaign and not just focused on one singular aspect of what your goal might be. So I think that's one. And two, you really have to think about breaking down silos. You cannot effectively measure a holistic campaign if you're buying in silos and negotiating in silos and have different teams working on different parts of the campaign. So breaking down those silos, looking at things in a more holistic view, and thinking about all the different ways that a campaign can affect your outcomes.
Cheryl, I'm sure you have a very long wish list even at this early part in the year, but just want to ask you about one mind shift that you'd like to see industry leaders embrace as they plan for growth in the year ahead.
Moving ahead, I think marketers need to think of a couple things. Wouldn't say there's just any one thing, but there's a few things. One, breaking down the silos. Stop buying media in buckets. You've got to have your team talking to each other and not have your social campaign folks over here and your digital out of home over there. You really need to think holistically and put your campaign together with that holistic view. So changing your media mix modeling. I think you also have to be bold and not be afraid to put your foot in and try new things. Be afraid to fail. You can't just keep doing business as usual because it's not business as usual. So getting over your fears, being willing to step in and just learn how to do all these things, try and not be afraid to fail, I would say is really what you're going to need to move forward.